At NAB in Las Vegas, Krotos allows you to design your own unique movie sound effects. This is MacVoices. This edition of MacVoices is supported by the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter to keep you up on all the latest from MacVoices. Watch or listen to MacVoices straight from your email client. Sign up at macvoices.com/newsletter and stay up to date. MacVoices is at NAB in Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, I was kind of blown away as I walked by the Krotos booth because they were playing all sorts of interesting sounds. And then I saw that they had a lot of movie posters up, things that I recognize like The Avengers and Ozark and Swamp Thing and a lot of others that you recognize too. Alessandro is going to talk to us about their sound creation software, something that you could definitely use too. Alessandro, it's great to meet you.
Yeah, likewise, Chuck.
So tell me what we're seeing here. Hearing.
Yeah, Krotos Studio is our suite that allows you to create sound effects very, very quickly. Our tagline is Hollywood sound in seconds, and that's what we're going for, basically. Yeah.
So, and this is just not your usual stock audio. These are custom created sounds that maybe have a unique bent to them.
That's correct. Yeah, if you want, I can just show you how it works.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So basically, you can you have 8 categories. Say, let's start from the ambiances. You can pick a specific location. Let's go for a cityscape, for example, and you can decide whether you want to go more for the skyline, or more for the traffic, or more for the sirens and the horns. This has a built-in audio buffer which records at all time what you're doing with the XY paths. Once you're happy with it, you can stop it and drag and drop it on your timeline. This works both as a plugin for digital audio workstations or in standalone, which means that you can keep it next to your video editing software of choice and you can just drag and drop it on your timeline or straight on your desktop for that matter. You can just make a folder of sound effects if you want. And we have many more categories. Say you want to create some cinematic sound design, so you want to create a big giant hit, you can just perform it. If you're not happy with it, you can try a different variation. Maybe you want to be more of the transient and less of the tonal element. You can really customize it. You can do things like creating atmospheres. For this one, we're going for something eerie and horror-like. As soon as you touch it, it starts recording, and then when you leave your finger from the mouse, it basically lets it tails out and becomes available as a drag and droppable file right away. You can do things like footsteps, where you can select the footwear and the surface that you're working on. So for example, let's go for some high heels, and you can go from a clean surface to gritty, to tile, to wet. So it's very, very powerful for post-production workflows. You can do Foley. Let's go for some cloth. If you want to have like a cloth pass, say you want to have someone searching in her bag. So you can choose between bag and keys, and you can just move stuff around. As long as you're keeping it pressed, it's basically generating the sound. So if you compare it to a regular workflow where you need to get the single WAV files, drag and drop them in your timeline, and then stretch them to match your scene, this is obviously much, much faster. You can do things like bushes. Let's go electrical because I really like this preset. And do like panning and perform them in real time.
Oh, yeah, that's panning back and forth across. That's nice.
Right. You can do some weapon sound design, which is fun. You can select, for example, your 9mm pistol, and it defines the proximity. So you can either be like very close in your face, gunshots, or further away in the space. You can reload your gun. You can do like very big explosions, where you can decide the amount of debris that you're getting. So from something incredibly wet and rich with debris, but maybe you only need like the explosion sound, so you can dial it back in. You get like something much drier that maybe you can use as a layer to add to something else. It's like a very flexible workflow that you can use.
It's very impressive. And unfortunately, folks, you're probably not going to be able to hear what I just heard as effectively because, it's NAB. But yeah, it sounds extremely, extremely professional. and I love the panning back and forth with the electrical, especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many things here you can do with this, and the fact that you can customize it. I don't have to go to gunshot 1, gunshot 2, gunshot 3. I can do it, tweak it exactly the way I want, and then pull it over. Now, to be clear, this is running on a Mac. So
yes, it's cross-platform though. It works on Windows as well. Yeah.
Okay. And when I'm dragging it over, obviously it's dropping into my editor. But am I able to export it just as a regular sound?
Oh yeah, you can. You don't even need to export it from your editor. You can just drag and drop the sound on a folder on your desktop if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like that.
So then now it's there for me to use over and over and over.
Yeah, say that you want to create a bunch of whooshes, right? You can, let's go with hybrid, which is slightly different. You can do like, here's one, and you drag and drop it. And then is another one, slightly longer one, you can drag and drop it. So you can basically create your own sound libraries of sounds, library of sound if you want.
I don't think I want this because I'm afraid 3 or 4 days are just going to disappear right out from under me as I play with it.
Yeah, that's what I do. You just keep playing and 2 hours go by.
Better than video games,
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's talk about the pricing model. How are you able to, or how can I get access to this?
Yeah, so what you're looking at the moment is our free version, which contains a limited sound set, plus our sound pack, which is called Genesis, which is available for $29. That includes all the different use cases that you're looking at. In the future, we're thinking maybe 2 or 3 months we'll be releasing a pro version, which will have a larger library and will be also be releasing new content on a regular basis. And most importantly, will give you access to the edit mode, which at the moment is locked in this version. And when you'll be able to do that, you'll basically be able to add your own sound libraries and use the engine to perform them. That will be very cool. We don't have a fixed price in mind for that just yet, but it will be most likely a subscription service where you'll be able to pay monthly, maybe at different tiers, depending on the sounds that you get with it.
So just to be clear, you say I can bring in my own sounds.
Yeah.
Does that mean then I can manipulate them with this, not just play them?
Yeah, you'll be able to do pretty much anything. So say that you're bringing your own footsteps, you'll be able to load a footsteps template, and rather than these boots, you'll be able to bring your own recordings of boots over different surfaces and then use your own sounds with the software, basically. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. The website is
krotosaudio.com.
excellent. Alessandro, thank you so much.
Thank you very
Pleasure
much.
to meet you.
Likewise.
Folks, we'll have more from NAB in Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner, and this is Mac Voices. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.